Yo guys, it's JJ here, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to make some crazy Detroit beats. But before we get into the video guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We have just passed 1.6k subs on the way to 2k, so really pushing it this year. And to show some love back, I've got a bunch of free drum kits in the description just for you. Go grab them, and to get the latest one, it is in my Instagram, which you can find in the description as well, so go ahead and grab that drum kit. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into the video. So, first thing to know about this Detroit beat, we are doing it at 180 BPM and we're doing it in the scale of F sharp minor. But the first sound we are using is a VST called Piano V, but the preset is called the German Classic Clean, a nice little go-to piano of mine. And looking at the pattern, I swear it is very simple. Making crazy Detroit beats isn't that difficult. It's all about repetition and getting that dark atmosphere. And the way we do that is, if we just look at this nice little one bar over here, first of all, starting off in that F sharp, climbing into that G sharp into an A, and using these two notes, the C sharp and the D, bouncing back and forth, back into that G sharp and then into a C sharp again. And to really just show what I'm on about is, if you look over here, these notes and these notes are a semitone apart within the scale, meaning it provides a lot of tension, giving that dark atmosphere, and that's exactly what we're going for. And then all I did was copy and paste this over for a full 8 bar, and this is what the main melody sounds like. As for the effects, I kept it very simple. Got an EQ cutting off all my lows and then just dug some mids. Next up, I got an instance of RC20 using the Vinyl 1 preset, and I just brought the noise down a bit. And last but not least, a bit of a Valhalla vintage rip to add some ambience and reverb to the sound. And who can forget stereo separation? We did this around 30% just to widen the sound a bit more in your headphones or your speakers. And next up within the sounds, we are using an instance of Purity with a preset called the Pure Soul Res, and this is a bass synth. Looking at the pattern, it is very simple again. We have decided to make our own little root notes over here just because, you know, it's all on the F sharp, but wanted to change it up, so look to the F sharp for the first 4 bar, then change it into the D, into the C sharp. Then again, as I said, notes are semitone apart, further reinforcing that dark atmosphere. But before I play you this bass guys, just know this preset can be found in Expand 2 and other VSTs, so if you don't have Purity, you can definitely find it somewhere else. And with that being said, this is what the bass sounds like. And there we have it, and as you can hear from that bass, it's a very classic, hard Detroit synth bass. Next up, we got ourselves an instance of Expand 2, and the preset we are using is the soft legato strings, which of course is within that strings bank. And looking at the pattern, it is very simple again. As I said before, we really want to reinforce that dark vibe, so what I did was, first of all, play that note in the F sharp along the whole way, then play the nice little C sharp minor. So if we kind of look at it over here, it's kind of like we've got a nice little triad chord going, but without the A in the middle. Then I duck it down into the A over here, bring it up into a B, and then down into that G sharp. Again, making use of these notes, which are all within that one semitone apart place within the scale, giving it a dark vibe. And then I clicked Alt R to bring up the randomizer and played with the velocity knob just to give it a bit more of a human touch, so all the notes don't exactly sound the same. And as I said before, these are Detroit beats to make them go crazy. Keep it simple, repetitive, keep that dark kind of tone there, and that's all you need. So this is what the strings sound like. As for the effects, got myself a nice little EQ again, cutting off all my lows. Then the instance of Soothe 2 just to act as a compressor. Then the instance of Valhalla vintage rip just to add a bit more reverb and give a bit more ambience to the sound. And last but not least, I stereo separated the sound around 55% just to widen it within the headphones again. And then as you heard, when it plays alongside the keys and the bass, it sounds like a nice little background element rather than being in your face. And then to wrap up the final sound within a sample, we got ourselves a bell preset. This is from my kit actually, so go grab that again for free in the description. But all I do is get a nice little bell pattern going, because that's very much essential for Detroit beats in my opinion. First of all, starting in that F sharp, going into that D, back into the F sharp and into a G sharp, and I'll literally just repeat the whole thing again for a full 8. Very simple, repetitive, dark, follows the criteria that I'm on about, and again, that classic Detroit style. But for the effects, was a very simple EQ, again, all my lows, and then some highs being cut off. And last but not least, a instance of Valhalla vintage rip on the bell, just to add a bit more ambience to it, giving a bit more of a dark sound. And now, without further ado, this is what the full Detroit sample sounds like. And there we have it. And as you can hear, that bell brought a lot of energy, so I do like to reserve it for certain parts within the beat. But now guys, it's time to move on to the drums. And just remember, all these sounds are from my kit. Again, link is in the description, but let's just get into it. First things first, we got ourselves a nice little clap pattern. Very simple and straightforward, so we'll move on to the hi-hat. And looking at the hi-hats, a very simple pattern again. Nice little two-step, and that's all you really need. Sometimes you add a few rolls here and there, but for these Detroit beats, it's very much nice to have simple drums. So without further ado, this is what the hi-hat and the clap sound like. And next up guys, we are moving to the 808, and looking at the pattern, it is very simple. We essentially just follow that same pattern as the synth bass, keeping it nice and punchy, and we're using a very cool preset called the thick spins. It's pretty much like a shorter spins, very much thick and has some girth to it, but that is pretty much it to the 808. And as for the kick pattern, looking at it, it is very much the same, just all kept in the same root note of C. And then one more thing I like to really emphasize, and I do say this in every video, if you want to make your Detroit beats go crazy, or any of your beats, one thing to do with your kick and your 808 is, if you highlight all your notes by clicking Control A, grab your mouse, hold that scroller wheel down, and as you can see, if you push it all the way to the top, it maxes your velocities out. And I love to do this for my kicks and my 808s because of two main reasons. Number one, it makes your drums much more punchier, really cuts through the mix a lot. And number two, it's coming on from number one, but if you have very punchy drums and a punchy beat, artists are going to really enjoy that, and they're going to want to hop on your Detroit beats. So anyways, with all that being said, this is what the 808s and the kicks sound like. And then next up, we're moving on to the open hat. Very simple pattern, repeats every 2 bar. And all I do is have the open hat hit on the first and the third 808, if that makes sense, of every 2 bar. So it's at the beginning and that third 808. And it just makes it a bit more punchier again, because layering a kick with an open hat and an 808 really just provides another little level of, you know, punch. And as I said, copy and pasted it 3 more times to make a full 8 bar. And without further ado, this is what the open hat sound like. Now for the final component within the beat, I've got myself 2 perks that I added from the kit. First of all being the zap perk. Really love this little perk. Have it playing every 4 bar, and as we can see, just a nice little pattern to give it a bit more bounce, and then repeat it again another 4 bar. And then the second perk that I've got in is a Luger perk. I have it at the end of every 4 bar, as you can see here. It's just these nice little rolls going on with this perk. It sounds super dope in the Detroit beats, Florida beats, but yeah, it's in my kit and I use the sound. And now with all that being said, this is what a crazy Detroit beat by yours truly sounds like. But now, to break down the structure of the beat, first thing I did was got myself a very nice 8-bar intro. All I do is get an automation clip for the tempo, and same with the pitch, because I rendered out the whole like chorus, to say the least. Got it out here, took it down 12 semitones as you can see, and then played the pitch so it could bend back to normal alongside with the tempo, giving it a very nice cool intro. Then moving on to the chorus, this consists of 2 8 bars. We start off with our main melody, which is of course that piano, alongside all of these drums, which are the perks, the kicks, the 808s, the clap, the hi-hat, as you can see. But then the second 8 bar, I introduced those strings alongside that open hat to really provide an extra bit of punch. And moving on to the verse section, we got ourselves 3 8 bars. First of all, we got ourselves that piano, and then I introduced that nice little bass because a little bit of variation for the verse section. And I have the essential drums playing with that kick, hi-hat, and that clap. Then for the main section of the verse, I got myself for the main section of the verse, which is your second 8 bar, I now introduce those violins, and I have the bells playing. However, it's not the full bells, it's just that first bell on the F sharp that I hit. And as you can see, it comes at the beginning of every little 2 bar. But then I introduce some perks as well, just to vary it up a bit. And then last but not least, for the final 8 bar, also known as a pre-hook, because you know it's that 8 bar just before your chorus, I take away all the drums, let the hi-hats play alone, have that clap and that kick coming together, and then just leave the piano and the bass to do its thing, just so the artist can really just, you know, air it out on the mic, do their thing before the chorus drop. And then I copy and paste the chorus, but as you can see, a bit of variation in terms of the bells being added over here, whereas there weren't any here. And I copy and paste the verse, and I copy and paste that second chorus yet again. And guys, there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on how to make a crazy Detroit beat, of course by yours truly. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks again for all the support. Road to 2K, almost there. And guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.